So Konami OCG just recently had a poll where they picked a collaboration of decks for the players to decide which one would get another structure deck. And to be honest with you guys, if it was an actual strategy on that list, it was trash. Now I typically don't like knocking strategies, but speaking subjectively, these strategies were never competitive and often had gaping holes into their strategy. In this video, we're actually going to be addressing that. We're going to be talking about the worst strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! And actually addressing them to make it better. I hate to talk negatively about any strategy that can be someone's favorite, but in order for a strategy to be able to get better, we need to be able to poke at the holes of the certain concept so we can actually find a solution to make them better. As always, if you guys want to see more videos like this, then make sure you destroy that like button, but also post down below in the comment section if you guys would like to see another one of these videos and which strategies would you like to see included on the list. The first strategy we are going to talk about is the winner of the poll, and it's ice barriers. The ice barrier monsters have no direction whatsoever. At one point in time, you want to control the attack of the monster with the cute doggo card, and then at other times you have one of your better ice barrier monsters with an attack over the monster. What exactly are you trying to do? It's really easy just to spew out ink on cardboard and make Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I think ice barriers are actually the collection of just spewed out ink on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Ironically, if they all didn't have ice barrier in their name, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that they belong together, even art-wise. I mean, they obviously follow a certain color scheme, but I'm a little bit jaded when it comes to Konami art, especially when you realize that Emermel Abisteus has the exact same pose as Heroic Champion Rongo. Yeah, you could probably say that these cards just look alike and that's pretty much it. Now, if Ice Barrier did have a strategy going on, it's really weak. Again, it's a control that wants to prevent your opponent's monsters from attacking or monsters from attacking and doesn't have a way to burn or anything. And then it also wants to prevent your opponent from setting cards to your side of the field. Now, the forgivable thing about Ice Barrier monsters is that their synchro monsters make up for them. You're gonna be excited when I tell you that Trishula is actually an Ice Barrier monster. Being able to banish one card from your opponent's hand, field, or graveyard, it's a phenomenal card. Bryonic Dragon of Ice Barrier was once one of the most powerful synchro monsters in the game. Discarding cards from your hand to bounce cards on your opponent's side of the field, this card was eventually banned, came off the list, and eventually received an errata. There's also other amazing Ice Barrier synchro monsters like Gunknir that allows you to destroy multiple cards, and DeLorean, which looks cool at the very worst, but was once part of an FTK. Now imagine me telling you that you guys have these amazing synchro monsters that are devastating, so devastating that at one point in time, some of them had to be on the forbidden list and you don't have a consistent way to summon them. Yeah, that's Ice Barriers in a nutshell. Ice Barrier is easily one of the most backward decks in Yu-Gi-Oh history and have some of the better cards for their strategy. I mean, synchros aside, if you take a look at their Medallion of the Ice Barrier spell card, it literally allows you to search for any Ice Barrier monster from your deck to your hand. The only other strategy to have a non-restrictive reinforcement of the army are heroes. And if you can see the stark contrast between both of those decks in competitive relevancy, it's because heroes actually have cards that work with each other. Now that I'm done trashing Ice Barriers to make me seem cold-hearted, get what I did there? I can finally come up with a solution. Using the synchro monsters as a basis, it seems that Ice Barriers want to be a board-breaking deck. So introducing support that allows them to take advantage of going second or having cards that allow you to prevent your opponent from activating cards, you can say that it can freeze the board while they activate their monster effects of their synchro cards, which essentially allows them to break their opponent's board. Also, being able to introduce Ice Barrier monsters that can actually make these synchro monsters with ease would probably be the best bet for Ice Barriers. I think right now Ice Barriers have no chance in hell if they want to be competitive, but with that type of support, they can really be a good deck.
So you're gonna look at adding just here then?
To what?
Snow, Paul and Chance.
I think you're hearing things. The next strategy is Gen X, and ooh, like seriously, when Konami were making strategies, were they even giving strategies a general direction? The answer could be yes, because at the same time there were other archetypes like Gravekeepers, Harpies, heck, even Worms were in Dual Terminal 1, and they had a general strategy. Gen X literally is a collaboration of cards that I don't even know what they do. Outside of Gen X Controller and Gen X Undyne, the only reason why I even know they're remotely viable is because of Mermail is, there's that, the Gen X guy with the think. Upon reading the Gen X cards, I now realize that there is a third Gen X monster that I do know, and he wasn't played in Gen X either. But the Gen X strategy seems to be built on synchro summoning monsters with different attributes to gain their effects. The only problem with this is that your synchro monsters don't gain any good effects. I mean, there's a Gen X synchro monster that can special summon a machine monster to the side of the field, but some of your Gen X monsters aren't even machines. Now, there is a solution to the Gen X strategy. It's fairly simple. Make better cards. You probably have to reset the entire Gen X strategy just because of how poorly these cards are. Now, I'm not talking about a full-blown reset. I actually want to keep Gen X Undyne and Gen X Controller because both of those cards are really, really good. We already have a reinforcement of the army type like with Gen X Undyne, and Gen X Controller can serve as the centerpiece for a new line of synchros. So the theme of the Gen X strategy is to change all of the Gen X monsters for future support water. And when they are sent to the graveyard, you can either add a Gen X spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, you can special summon a Gen X monster from your deck to your side of the field, hand to the side of the field, and graveyard to the side of the field respectively. This would actually make Gen X Undyne the most valuable piece, as it can send those Gen X water monsters to the graveyard. I think that it still would be a good idea to make Gen X synchro monsters, but now we have to make them specific to Gen X Controller, requiring that card to be able to be used for its synchro summon. These Gen X synchro monsters will have all types of variation effects, from negation, mass destruction, huge attack, and untargetability, depending on what attribute you used for its summon. And before you guys say, hey, TheCaliEffect, all of the Gen X monsters you used are water, ha, plot twist, the Gen X monsters can change their attribute on the side of the field. I think that also some Gen X spell cards that allow you to reveal Gen X Controller from your hand and perform a certain action, such as destroying and then special summoning Gen X Controller to your side of the field for a synchro play would be pretty cool. Ultimately, I think that that's a really good fix to the Gen X strategy. And if you ask if your favorite strategy should be on here, I should say it's Gen X. Now, when Ritual Beast got Untitled off the Forbidden List, players were screaming with joy. You can finally play Ritual Beast at full capacity. And then that's when reality set in. Unfortunately, Ritual Beast were not a good deck anymore. They've been 6 years removed from the competitive scene, and even 6 years ago, they weren't a tier 1 type deck. Closer to the tier 2/rogue status that sometimes allowed you to go to time and get free wins. I mean, let's be real, that's what the deck did. The cool thing about it is that looking at the Ritual Beast strategy, there's maybe a few tweaks in a card introduced that can make Ritual Beast great again. I really didn't want to say it like that, and you guys know why. Now, Ritual Beasts have a unique set of effects, only allowed to be special summoned once per turn, no matter how you do it, and then needing a Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast monster to be able to contact fusion summon a Ritual Beast monster or extra deck monster to your side of the field. The biggest problem that this deck has is getting into its main card, Ritual Beast Elder Tamer, which allows them to grant an additional normal summon to get the combos going. And one could be lazy and say it's as simple as just giving Ritual Beast a spell card that can search Ritual Beast monsters. Yeah, that's actually what we're gonna do. It's that simple. Giving Ritual Beast a spell card that is a hard once per turn because you don't want Untitled to be able to abuse this card, or is it really that busted? I mean, seriously, let's say if it could add 3 Ritual Beast cards from the deck to the hand monsters, would it really be that busted? Heck, you can even say if it could add Ritual Beast cards from the deck to the hand and wasn't once per turn, would it really be that busted? If anything, it just might make the Ritual Beast strategy a lot more competitive, but nowhere near dominant. I'm actually relatively happy that this is one of the easiest decks to fix, giving them a non-hard once per turn Ritual Beast spell card that can search any Ritual Beast card from the deck to the hand allows them to compete into this meta. You have Ritual Beast Steeds that can destroy multiple cards upon the resolution of its effect, and you have Ritual Beast Ambush that allows you to supply your resources from your graveyard or banish, possibly even a Ritual Beast spell card that can recur Ritual Beast monsters, or maybe I'm just being too biased for the strategy. Well, that's all of the strategies that I have for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and check out one of those videos that we have. They are some really exciting videos to watch. I'm not even gonna lie, I watch them all the time. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next video.